Hey guys, and welcome to another Shadow Era stream. Today it's going to be a dev day, which means I'll take you behind the scenes in the Unity editor and maybe even some code. We're going to be fixing some bugs, improving the game, and maybe taking a sneak peek at some features to come. If you saw the stream yesterday or watched the video, yesterday was the Hero Spotlight. I had a great time playing Nishaven, a mage, playing through the campaign. Found it to be just the right amount of challenge. Of course, I did spot a few minor bugs as well as some things that I'd like to improve. One of the ones was the pop-up help text for one of the heroes. Let me just load that guy. Of course, it was Darkclaw. His ability gives +2 attack to his weapons, but I noticed that the pop-up help was even there when the ability was not active. Yeah, actually, I didn't save it. Did not know Darkclaw deck. There we go. Darkclaw. Let's just go see if we could reproduce that bug quickly. So this is playing in the Unity editor. Besides the main game window, we could always also go behind the scenes and actually view how the game is constructed, see how everything is sort of laid out in 3D. The most important part is we have this fancy little button here called test mode. When I click on that, that gives me a lot more control. I can give myself resources, I can give myself any card that's itself a weapon. Big teeth, there we go. Now I can cast that and see if the bug is gonna be there still. Yeah, there it is. Darkclaw +2 attack. So that shouldn't be happening because I haven't activated my ability yet. So this card is Crystals 115. Just stop the game. And now we're gonna have to go into the code a bit. 115 was the card. So here is all the code that makes the card work. It's actually not a lot. So it's going to be Darkclaw that I'll have to look into. He's obviously the source. Darkclaw 17. This is the chunk of code that's actually returning whether or not the pop-up help is going to take place. Now in the game, we can test like that, or we also have something that's called unit tests. What unit tests does is it runs through a whole list of predefined tests and basically tests everything about every card. It only takes like about a minute to do all these tests, and this is how we ensure that the game is kept consistent and bug-free, and that we don't reintroduce bugs that have already been fixed before. Just gonna give that a second to run through. So 1,394 tests and 0 failed, so that's good. So we're actually gonna add another test for this Darkclaw bug. What we can do is create a test case. I promise I'm not gonna be coding the whole the whole stream, but this is important just to illustrate how we test cards. In the test case, we could set up the card, the game board any way that we want. So this is going to be the hero, and he's going to need a weapon. And that was 115, side 0. This is going to add a weapon. And I'm just going to call his function to see. This should be, when I get the pop-up for the weapon, it should actually be nothing if he hasn't done his ability yet. And we're just going to make sure that that is supposed to be. We actually want it to be nothing. We don't want to run like all 1000 tests or something, so I'm going to copy it into just the one test, so I can only just run this single test, and it'll just take like a split second. So go back to the game. This button single test now will just run that test that we did. Oh, sorry, there's a compile error. Didn't notice anything out there. That's didn't have the card number because it was only in this guy. So this card number is 17. Let's try that again. So it had an error. We wanted nothing, but we got Darkclaw +2 attack. So that is the bug. Now we're going to fix the bug, and when we run the test should pass. The bug was in Darkclaw. We forgot to check if the ability is actually active or not. What's it called? Is used ability. We didn't use the ability. Shouldn't have any help text. That's as simple as that. Now we can run the test again. And zero failed. So it looks like it's working. Let's check back in the game. Reloader scene starts everything. So we're going to go back and check Darkclaw if that bug has been fixed. As I mentioned in the last stream yesterday, a recent addition is going to be that it's going to have a default playmat when you start, so it's no longer, the AI is no longer going to be sort of playing hanging in space, but it's going to select the playmat if you don't have one defined. So we actually have one big teeth already, but we don't have enough resources, so let's just give myself some resources. We'll cast it. And it looks good. It doesn't have that bug. It doesn't have any help up pop-up text. So we're going to use the ability. And there it is. So it looks like that bug has been fixed. And that only took a few minutes. We're doing pretty good. Now let me see. If I remember, another issue I had was that Arcane Burst took too long. I wish I could do this in like a multiplayer game, just give myself any card. But it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So when we cast Arcane Burst, the effect is pretty good, but you'll see it kind of sticks around way too long. Let's try that again and sort of count in seconds how long it should be sticking around. Like maybe 3 or 2 at most, but it seems to be sticking around a lot more. Arcane Burst is card 79. Now we're going to go in and see how the effects are done in the game. Card 79. This is the entire code for that card. As you can see, it's pretty simple. The effect is right here. Arcane Burst is the name of the effect. Go to that definition. Find where it's used. So this is the file name called Arcane Burst. Let's just take a look at that. is it? Before Arcane Burst. Arcane Burst, there it is. So it looks like it's emitting for 2 seconds. And it's going to be destroyed after 2 seconds. So I have another scene here that I use to test out effects. Called Test. It's just basically a card. And now I can drag any effects that I want onto this card. So let's test this out. Arcane Burst. That's sticking around a lot longer than... Oh, I see. It's emitting for 2, and then it's waiting 2 seconds to destroy after it emits. Let's try that again. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and it's destroyed. So let's try changing that to 0. Let's see if it gets destroyed quicker. Yep, it's way quicker. So it gets destroyed way quicker. That's pretty good. Let's check the code one more time if there's any code related things. The default time is 3. So if I want it to be 2 seconds, there's that. I can reduce it 2 seconds just to make sure that the game will continue after only 2 seconds. That's about it. Go back into the real scene again. Let's see if that did the trick. Oh, Darkclaw using the Arcane Burst. That's that every day. See if it only that. Oh, I can't target that. That's way quicker, so it just took the effect and then it went right to the graveyard without hanging in the midair for a few seconds. I think that's pretty good. Another thing I noticed was Serena's ability. Let's switch to Serena now. I like to do that. Start again and change my hero to Serena. Sticking with the effects theme here. Some people have mentioned that her ability should be a lot more stealthy, like a more dark effect, and right now it's kind of like a light and holy effect for her ability. So let's just check it out, see what it is currently. Her ability, your weapons have +2 attack. Let's get her a weapon. Test mode, give myself some resources. There's a weapon. So let's use the ability. Yeah. That really doesn't fit Serena. When I see her, I don't really think of that light shiny thing. So let's take a look at her code. Crystal's 10. Card number 10. And again, the code for this card is pretty simple. Not a lot there. That's about it. So when they use the ability, it's going to do this effect, holy buff. Okay, we don't want it to be a holy buff. We want something else. The question is, what should it be? We don't have a lot here, but we have a lot already made. So let's go back to the test scene. Take a look at some different things that it could be. So keep in mind Serena and think what it should be. Got a bunch of shadow things, maybe chaotic explosion. Let's try that. For buffing a weapon, that could be. I mean, it's not bad. Not bad, not bad. Keep that in mind. Shadow circle. Gonna last a bit long. Cloud. Already has sound. Could be nice. I'm just gonna quickly copy that sound for this one that didn't have sound. And try this again, see if it's better. Just make the sound a bit quicker. If you increase the pitch, it'll go faster. See that the sound fits. Not sure if I like it for Serena though. I think Cloud is good. Let's try some others. Down. It's kind of for damage. Shadow lightning. Shadow ray. And shield. It's not bad too. I think I like Cloud the most though. It's pretty subtle. So let's do that. Shadow Cloud. Just gonna copy that file name because I don't think I've used that before. Oh, I have Shadow Cloud. There it is. What else is a Shadow Cloud? So that's the one that Lance uses. Wow, coincidence. And into the forest. Expect that into the forest. Assassin's Cloak. So it's actually what Lance uses, so it's a better effect for Serena. Let's just use it with Serena too. I forget what number she has, 8. Serena is 10. Instead of holy buff, we are now going to use Shadow Cloud. And just like that, she'll have a new effect. Let's go test it out in the real game, of course. Don't have a weapon. I'll have to give myself a weapon. Frying pan, of course. Let's try this ability now. Oh, need some resources. Oh, it's actually off the card, so that could happen sometimes. Shadow Cloud. Let me try that manually this time. Put Shadow Cloud on it. just did something. Yep, I did something bad. That worked. I'm gonna put it there. Still pause it here. Try that again. Shadow cloud. Should work. Okay, let's try that again next turn and see. Resources, try this again. Definitely way off the card. So let me just check and see what that is. Yeah. That should be 0 for it to appear on the card. So sometimes it's not set up properly. You have to make sure that it's properly aligned. Everything is zeroed out. Okay, so it's just adding a prefab. Luckily, I can just continue the game. Try it again next turn. Another weapon, get myself another frying pan. Now let's try it. Perfectly on the card. It has a nice effect and I gain the buff. And it says +2 attack. That's pretty good. I noticed that Lance used that effect as well, so I'm gonna go back and check out Lance to make sure that nothing bad happened to his effect. It's always important to sort of test around anything that you change, just to make sure that new bugs aren't introduced. Alright, Lance, let's check his ability. Target friendly ally has ambush, stealth, and haste. We got a friendly ally. Let's give myself some resources. Ability, target. Yep. That looks great. Stealth, wow, look at that. It's ambush, stealth, haste. Just for good luck. Alright. That's pretty good. So in like 24 minutes so far, we have fixed Darkclaw help text. We've improved the Arcane Burst delay. We've given Serena a better effect. That's all that I can remember from my playthrough. What came to mind that I should fix in terms of like the gameplay. What I noticed might be a little bit bigger problem, but I wasn't too happy with the experience of opening booster packs. Well, I have 70. When you go to open, reveal, it's kind of, you know, anticlimactic. It just doesn't feel like very satisfying, and you don't even know like what are the good cards, like where is my good card, you know, what's common. It's kind of hard to tell. What I was thinking of doing is when you press open all, it should, I'll flip them one by one very quickly so it'll go in a row and flip them over, and if there's a good card like this rare, it should have the border like a nice blue glowy border to show that it's a rare. And maybe if we have time, instead of just like just sitting on the table, maybe we'll have them float in the air a bit, just so it looks more dynamic instead of just plastered on the screen like that. How would we go about that? Well, this scene is of course merchant. All these cards are all here. This is what's known as a basic card. So these cards don't have everything that's needed for the gameplay. It's just an object that's used in things like a deck builder, see the merchant, where it doesn't need to show any effects on the card, but it's just really basic. So this doesn't actually have what I need right now to turn it on. Go back to the test scene. So you can see this actually has an outline. I was playing with this earlier today to see if I could actually make a nice outline. The outline is there, off and on. Here's everything that sort of makes it an outline. There's also some in the particles. The energy fragments is going to give it these like glowy effect on the sides. So it's not just an outline, but it's going to be glowing a bit. So that's in card. But basic card, it doesn't have all that good stuff. It doesn't have a lot of stuff that the full card has. There's many ways that we can sort of port this to this card. I could just add it to basic card, but then that would mean that it's always going to be there when 99% of the time you don't need it. What I could also do is copy this stuff, make it a prefab so that it can be added at runtime dynamically to the basic card. I think that's what I'm going to do. Prefabs folder, there's a lot of stuff there. Let me see where actually the cards live. I think it's in the resources folder. Yeah, there's the actual basic card. Sort of want to take this, just these two. I'm going to don't do that. Didn't like when I the parent, it didn't like. I'm gonna just create something here, call it outline. Drag the stuff here, copy, paste it. So the thing is, I have to make sure that all these values are the same, so that nothing is going to change when I add this to the card. Zero that out. So assuming that this is off, particle is off by default. If I now add this to the card, it should get an outline. That's what I want it to do. It is way off the card. That is Z. It doesn't have a Z. Let's see. So when I add the prefab, it's taking this set and sort of making sure that it's in place. So when I add it as a prefab, I just have to make sure that it's sort of zeroed out. Let's drag this and create a prefab for now. Basic outline. Now when I drag this, make sure this is gonna have that effect. So this prefab is zeroed out. Now when I add it as a prefab to cards, it's gonna highlight. Boom. So that's gonna be an easy way to add a highlight. If I play the scene, it's actually gonna be with the effects. Let's do that again. So basic outline, the card's not outlined. If I add this prefab to any basic card, it's gonna outline. A nice effect. Of course, it's purple. We want it to be matching these so that if you get a rare card, it should be blue. If you get an epic, it's going to be purple. Legendary, it's going to be orangey yellow. So let's see what actually makes it purple now. Of course, it's the materials. Card outline purple, card outline blue, red, green. Basically, all we need to do is change the material and it's going to have a different color. So again, there's many ways you could do this. You could either have a script that changes the color. That's the way that the highlight does now. Or you can make different prefabs. Sources. So it's basic outline now. So we can have outline green, outline purple. I think I'm going to do it that way because I don't like the idea of making too many scripts right now. I'm actually going to remove this existing script. Just make sure there's no other card outline. I don't need drop dust. I don't think I need this duplicated with that either. So it's just going to be by changing this material and then energy fragments also has energy. Oh, also has card outline. So remove those scripts because I just want a straight copy without having to call in code. It's a little bit simpler to work with. Okay, that's our basic outline. Copy. Basic outline. Copy. Paste. Okay, do it the hard way. The hard way is it's not running. In the scene, we'll name it basic outline green. Make sure that this doesn't have any existing outlines. I'm going to turn this to green. Instead of purple, we're going to use the green one. There we go. Same with the particles. Purple, change it to font green. 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 check this. Green, 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 green. So we got a nice green outline. Now when we go back here, we can drag it here and it's going to create the prefab, the green name. We want it to be an original. We've got our green, got our purple, rename this purple. What else? Blue. Gotta do blue. Let's see, that's not what we want. I don't think blue was ever used in the game, obviously, because we don't have any blue highlights currently. Green is for what you can activate, red's for attack, purple, I think for abilities. So we don't actually use blue, so it's incorrect. It should be... That is incorrect. What we're going to do is we're going to copy this. Okay. Let's get rid of that card. Blue. This is the new blue. Blue. Okay. I wonder if these actually have a blue. Fog blue? Is it actually going to be blue? Yep. It's pretty good. Blue. Blue. So we're just making the outline blue. It's looking pretty good. Let's save this as a prefab. Original. Now we got blue, we got green, we got purple. Those match pretty closely. Now we need this. Just gonna call it orange. Legendary. So it's the same idea, but we don't have any of these materials yet. Let's duplicate this. Card outline orange. Let's change the tint. Nice orangey color. Same with the fog. Duplicate that. So now we're going to call this orange. Yep. Instead of blue, it's going to be outline orange. Energies are going to be orange. Still blue. Did I not change? Blue. Oh, what? It's blue. It's supposed to be orange. Orange. Okay, that's more like it. Okay. Orange. Next one. Next one. All right, so we got a nice orange highlight. Basic outline orange. So now we got the highlights. Let's just test this out. Let's delete that from the scene. Let's run it. So we have a basic card here. If we wanted to highlight it blue, highlighted blue. Delete that. Want it green. Green. Orange. Purple. Pretty good. That's half the battle, is making the effects. Now we just need to show it at the right time. Say before it's in the merchant scene, I'm gonna have to take a look at the code that does it. I believe it's this open pack manager. Problem is we don't want to add this prefab until the card gets flipped. So let's open the merchant scene first of all. Let's see what's going on. So there's no open pack scene, there's just a combined merchant scene. It's open pack manager. So what we want to do is sort of let it know what the highlights these are. So we're going to have it as some variables here. If we put a public variable, it's going to show up in the Unity editor. And the code outline. So we're going to have uncommon. Rare. Uncommon, rare, epic, legendary. Epic. When we save that and go back to Unity, we look over here, it's going to be some additional variables that we can assign. So all those good things that we just made, uncommon is of course green, rare is blue, epic is going to be purple, legendary is orange. So these are the things that we're actually going to add to the proper cards. And let's just worry about adding them first. This is the main function, draw cards. It's obviously creating the actual objects. It's setting the card to what it is and adding it. But it's not flipped over yet. As a quick test, I'm just going to do it now, see if it works. Instantiate is going to allow us to create a copy of what we wanted. It's either going to be uncommon, rare, epic, legendary. Here is going to be on the card. What's the script? Strange strong. Let's just see. Those are all set up. Let's save the scene. This is always going to make a uncommon outline on all the cards. Just see first if it works. You have to start off from the preloader scene again. I'm going to go to the merchant and open a pack, and hopefully they're all going to be highlighted on common. There it is. They all have the uncommon highlight. That's the first step. The next step is only showing it on the cards that actually need it and the right color, and only when you flip it over. But the main theory of it is working. It's adding the green outline to the cards. So this is the basic code that we want. Now we want to sort of only add the right outline. So we have the card script. What am I looking for here? Let me check a card. That rarity, there it is. Oh, it's a shadow card. This is a basic card. It's a basic card. When you set it, it doesn't have everything that the full card has. Obviously, it's just basic. That's not the full card. It doesn't care about rarity, stuff like that. But what I noticed when you flipped it over, it does say rare. Let's check how I did that. Rarity. There it is. Get rarity name from that card. Rarity names are going to be uncommon, hero, rare, epic. Let me also say valuable. Let's just try this for now. Back to the draw cards function. Start at the rarity. And we're just going to do different things based on what the rarity actually is. If it's uncommon. Second. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why it's not letting me use that. It doesn't look like switch the Now this is going to show only the highlights for when it needs it. Try that. Okay, David with the merchant. So look at that. We know beforehand what the card's going to be. Uncommon. Yeah, this is going to be rare. Nice. Uncommon. Our hero. Common. So it's working. All we need to do is make it only do that when we actually flip the card. See, just that effect is actually making it feel a lot better. So if we get that, we instantly know what cards are valuable. I think just that simple change is going to add a lot to the satisfaction of opening packs. So now we have to make it only show that when we actually reveal it. Either click the reveal or click the card when it turns over. So we have this code. Also depends on so far script and card. So we're gonna cut this and make it into a function. Card is, I'm checking the variable type card. What's card? Game object. Script and stuff. So that's our code from before, and we just need script, which is this. So it's the same code, just in a nice function. We used to call it there. We don't want to call it yet. We want to call it as soon as it's flipped over. So reveal all. It definitely sounds like we're revealing everything. So what does it do? When we click reveal all, we check if it's open or not. If it's not open, we rotate it, set it to open, and this is obviously where we want to add. What was it called? I just typed it 2 seconds ago and I forgot what it's called. It is called Show Outline. Now when you click all, it's not you, it's gonna show the outline if it needs to. What about if we just click it? Well, let's find out where else this is getting set. This seems to be the main thing. Okay. I'm looking for what happens when you click on one individual card. It's definitely going to be something about this. I don't know where else that is. Yeah, almost up. So if the card's not moving, blah blah blah, it's going to show this. So this sets it to true. We kind of don't check if it is true yet or not. We don't want to keep calling that function and adding like another outline each time you click on it. So we are going to just check that quickly. If it's false, then we're going to show an outline. Then we just set it to true no matter what. So that seems like it. That should be all. Let's test it. Nothing's highlighted. Whoa, look at that. As soon as you click it, it gets the rare. That was pretty satisfying. Let's see when I click reveal if there's anything else. Yep. That was actually perfect. You click it multiple times, it doesn't get any more. 63. What card is that? 163. Yep, there's just one outline. There's not like 10 outlines from clicking on it multiple times. So it looks like this is working great. And it already looks a lot better. So we now have highlights when you open a pack to show you the rarity of the cards. So I like it. So it's been an hour. Let's review. At the start of the stream, I mentioned that Darkclaw had a bug with his help text pops up. We fixed that quickly. We decreased the delay for Arcane Burst, made it quicker. For Serena, we gave her a better effect. And then we added these highlights for when you open packs. The next thing, maybe I'd like to try is when you do reveal all, sort of do them one by one quickly. Instead of just zoop, it should be one by one, like one by one. That is the next challenge. So there is my reveal all. Let's just take a look at what it's doing right now. This is the main code. It's looping through all the cards, and we haven't viewed it yet. This is where it rotates it. Shows the stuff. And then it continues on. Shows the notification. So the thing is, in Unity, when you want to do things sort of like on a timer or delayed, you use coroutines. I think we're going to turn, actually let's turn all of this code into a coroutine. It's done with IEnumerator. I'm just going to call it reveal all gradually. And from when you press reveal all, you're going to call it. In Shadow Arrow, I have a coroutine manager. But in basic Unity, it's almost the same. You just call it from the game object and coroutine start coroutine, sorry. So this is going to call reveal all gradually. And we're gonna have to add in a delay somewhere. Very short delay. Basically, every time it flips a card, it's going to delay. Zero 0.1 seconds. So it's gonna go, and then at the end it'll show the notification. I think that'll be fine because it's very quick. I don't want it to like show uncommon at the start and then half a second later show rare or whatever. It's better just to wait until the end and then show it. Just like that. And you should have a better effect for opening cards. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is so much better. Maybe a little bit slow, and it could use some sound effects. But that is just amazingly better than what it was before. We're definitely on the right track with this. Try that again. Wonder what would happen if we do two. Like, we haven't done anything with the multiple screens yet. So if I click reveal, it's gonna reveal them all. And I think it will reveal these two, yeah, that we didn't actually notice. And you'll see again when it goes back, it's not redoing this, the effects. Those are a few bugs that we'll have to fix. But it's not much of a problem. I'm just gonna concentrate on this single page for now. That's nice. It would be great if it had like a normal sound and then when it encounters uncommon or rare, and it'll have like a better sound. So it'll be like like that. That's my ideal. I don't know if I have the sounds laying around. It's actually a new computer, so I don't have my sound editor on hand. So I can't edit the sounds to sort of clip out what I want. But maybe I could do something quickly. Let's just look at the timing. Just a touch faster would be good. Yeah, already that's like so much better than what it was before. Let me check quickly if I do have a sound that I could use. Where are my sounds I'm using? I don't think any of those would be appropriate. It's kind of the sound that goes with like when you cast a card. Let's see if I can find that. Cast. Play sound cast. That's probably it. See if I could find out where that sound actually is. Sounds, resources, sounds. Resources. There it is. So I didn't see it because of that. Okay, there's everything. Cast. That's like way too long. If I could compress that to be super quick, that would actually be the ideal sound. Let me just try it. Go back to closing all this junk. Go back to open pack. Show, what was it called? Show line. I want to add a sound of this. Add it to the actual prefab. Do it in code. Let's do it in code. It's gonna play this like multiple times when you're flipping over the card. But it's only that's yeah. So I always want to do it, and then maybe in the future I'll have a better sound if it was rare. But for now, I always want to do it. I guess. Just see what sound does to this. I'm running out of packs, only 58 packs left. Alright, let's reveal. That's actually not too bad. This sounds too long, but it's pretty close actually. The sound was like half. It was compressed to half that way. And it did that as you open it. That's pretty good. Yeah. That is pretty darn good. So you know instantly what are the good cards, and like immediately you gotta click on it. Let's try a single card now. Yeah. fits when you click on it. Yep. Kind of fits actually. It matches the time that it takes to rotate. So when you click on it, it definitely matches. Need that. We have made great progress today, guys. Already the game is looking much better. Of course, I'm just gonna fix this up offline, maybe improve the sound a bit. I'll fix the multiple page thing, but that's good enough for this stream. The other thing I want to touch on, since we have time, is the whole game scene layout. As I mentioned before, there are now default playmats. Before, like even the current release, it's just kind of hanging out in the open, and there's no playmat at all. It looks like, as if I turn this off, it looks exactly like that. The cards are kind of just like hanging in the open air. For the current version, new players would see this. Now, actually adding the playmats, it's a step in the right direction. That's definitely a step in the right direction. But this old sort of background image really needs to go away. Especially, you'll notice it if you change the camera. You press the number keys or the mouse wheel. Sometimes change the camera view. Almost nobody actually does that. It makes it a lot more obvious that the background is just a dumb blank image. It kind of ruins the whole presentation of the game. What I want to do fairly soon, as soon as possible, is to make this a fully 3D background. So instead of just a flat image, it's actually going to be like as if you're looking at an actual 3D scene, similar to how the campaign works now, seeing its main map. When you actually go to the campaign, you'll see that it's sort of like on a 3D table, and you zoom into the spot and the table moves with it. I want that same kind of effect for the gameplay itself. My idea was to use the asset store. There is a wide variety of cool stuff on the asset store, and I've purchased 286 packs so far. Some of the recent ones, of course, a lot of effects. All of the effects in the game have been from the asset store. These are some cool ones that I just purchased. But here are some sceneries that I took a gamble on to see if they could be imported into the game and if they would work as a backdrop. So for example, this forest pack, what if sort of zoomed in on the forest floor with some trees in the background, and then the Shadow Era gameplay was sort of played on that forest environment? Look a lot better as long as the sort of style is the same, the art style. A few years ago, we did actually commission fully 3D playing fields that were pretty good, but they didn't really match the style of the game. bit too cartoony, I'd say. So we really want to make sure that the style is similar to the game. So I'm just going to import this and see if I can't at least do a quick test to see how it might look. I believe it's in forest. Scenes. This is like a demo scene. So pink assets happen, especially on stuff from Unity Asset Store, when they're designed for an older version of Unity. And right now I'm using the newest version with the universal render pipeline. So it means that all the materials you'll have to update. So for example, these materials, just go, where is it, render pipeline. You can do this, but it's a bit risky. I like to do just the selected to make sure I don't mess anything up. What else? Rock cliffs. It's selected. Yep, it's looking better. Drops. Yep, consists of fences and stuff. See, imagine this sort of on the side of the Shadowrun game, and then like the play mats are here. I think that will look cool if it's sort of, positioned properly. I think it would be a dramatic step forward for the game. And pretty easy and cheap to produce, but we'll see. What else? Materials, foliage. See, that would look pretty darn cool, I think. What's this guy? I don't need to hear all of it. So this is actually Unity terrain. I have brushes that you can raise and lower it. So if I like raise the terrain up to make it flat, I can shift to lower it. It's easier sort of to lower it to the base, so I can have starting at 0 because I don't really want any mountains exactly. And if I was doing this, I would like take the fences and like move them over here, for example. Delete that one. This is a tree. Way a bit so that you can have like maybe like zoomed into that level and positioned properly, and like the playmats are there. Can you imagine what that would do to the game? Just save the scene. Let me try a quick test. Copy everything. I'm gonna open up our scene. Gameplay. Here is the current scene with this dumb background. Some UI stuff. So this is where the playmats are going to be. I'm just going to take a chance, and I'm just going to paste it in here and see what happens. Boom. It's actually super tiny compared to what the game uses. That's okay. Oh, that is interesting. The props are scaling, but the terrain is not. Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of want to scale the terrain with this thing. The terrain is what has all the details like this. With grass. Because it's set, it's like, you know, that's just super tiny. It's scaling, it does nothing. I will have to look into that, guys. I'm not sure exactly how to scale terrain properly. But this stuff, at least, could be sized. With all the props, all the trees. If it had terrain under it, you could kind of see what I'm getting at. So I just have like the mountains and the trees at the sides to clear out everything in the main area. But the terrain. I don't know. I'll have to look into that later. I properly scale terrain. But it does have potential anyway. We can go into reverse just to demonstrate. Just activate all this junk. Go back to my forest. All my stuff. Scale my stuff down. Don't care about the background. Interesting. It's like way too small now. But it's super hard to control. Want to Just want to see how this is gonna work. So I'm going to take the scale is totally off. Impossible to move multiple objects. Obviously not working. I'll have to do this offline a bit later. But in theory, the idea is to have something like this be the background of the Shadowrun. Suddenly you're battling in a forest. It's going to be much better than just floating in space. I'm pretty sure I won't have this for the next release. I'm currently working on new game server, chat, guilds for the next release that I'll get more into the next dev day. But this is in the near future, probably early December timeframe. It's not too far away. I think the style might be okay. A little bit cartoony, but some things can be fixed up. I don't really like these trees. I don't know if this is okay. It has potential anyway. We'll see. That's all I have for today, guys. I think we made great progress. I'm going to be ending the stream early. Quit while you're ahead, as I say. Hopefully I didn't scare you away too much with all that coding, but you could see with just a little bit of effort and a focus on usability and presentation that the game's going to get better step by step. So if you have any suggestions, feedback, please be sure to let me know. And thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, bye.